Now, the Tema Metropolitan Assembly has suspended Member of Parliament for Tema West and Deputy Trade Minister Carlos Kingsley Ahenkra. The suspension follows what the Assembly describes as a deliberate attempt by the MP to prevent its task force from carrying out a legitimate demolition exercise. The decision was taken by the Public Relations and Complaints Committee of the Tema Metropolitan Assembly, chaired by the presiding member, Richard Fiadomo. Kwame Yanker's report.
The Member of Parliament last Thursday stopped a demolition exercise at Tema Community 2, where containers cited wrongly were being destroyed. The exercise was seen by some of the affected persons as needless, as they say would affect their source of livelihood. TMA then extended an invitation to the MP to appear before a General Assembly Wednesday to answer some questions, but he did not show up. Assembly members then voted on the motion whether to suspend the MP or not. Presiding member for TMA, Richard Fiadomo, read out the outcome of voting on the motion.
So, those who voted no are 9. Yes, 25. Yes, 25. No, 9. All right, honorable members, on the strength of this resource, Honorable Carlos Ahenkra is thereby suspended as a member of this assembly for 6 months. What it also means is that you have no official dealings with this assembly. And the chief executive is thereby directed not to transact any business on behalf of the assembly with the MP during the period of this suspension.
Meanwhile, presiding member for TMA, Richard Fiadomo, insists the decision to remove the containers must be upheld.
I also want honorable members to pass a resolution. We are going to continue to make sure that those people who have been removed do not come back. If not, it will be an affront to this house. A demolition exercise took place, and we hear that there are measures being taken for the people to come back. We have suspended the MP, and we are also directing the engineering department to make sure that those containers which have been removed remain removed. If we see anything contrary, we will take action on it. Thank you very much, Honorable Member.
2 other assembly members accused of also raining insults on the Metropolitan Chief Executive of TMA during a similar exercise in the Tema East constituency have also been slapped with a total of 5 months suspension. Kwame Yanker's report for Joy News.
We're taking a break now, but the top story we have at this hour is the police CID has invited the chairman of the Jospong Group of companies, Joseph Sian Jepong, as it opens investigations into Joy News' expose on questionable contracts awarded subsidiaries of the group. The contracts have to do with the supply of 1 million waste bins and fumigation across districts in the country.
Hello, good evening to you and welcome to Business. Latest documents emerging from IMF have revealed that government indeed requested for an extension of the fund program. However, there appears to be discrepancies regarding conclusion date for the program. While government is proposing December 2018, the IMF document gives a contrary date as to when the program ends. George Yafi has more in this report.
Documents showed that the request was influenced by a weakened economy it inherited, making it difficult to meet program targets by the end of 2017. Therefore, this administration needed more time to fulfill program targets, forcing government to request for the extension. According to the letter of intent sent to the managing director of the IMF, Christine Lagarde, and signed by the finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, and Central Bank Governor Dr. Ernest Addison, the program will be completed through a budget cycle of January 2018 through to December 2018. Therefore, it is requesting for approval to modify the length of the arrangement by 1 year and reschedule disbursement evenly. However, when you restrict yourself to this letter, then the program would end in December 2018. Going through the proposed schedule of reviews and disbursement, it showed that the last review meeting for this program would happen in February 2019. However, subject to completing all the reviews before this proposed date. Government in the letter also outlined measures to improve revenue collections and check rising expenditure to demonstrate its commitment to the IMF program.
Now, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has charged finance ministers of the G20 countries to take advantage of his African partnership with Germany to transform the economy of their countries. The partnerships between the group of 20 African countries and Germany seeks to support the economic growth of Africa and alleviate poverty on the continent. At the opening of the first African summit in Accra, Dr. Bawumia stressed the need for members to utilize available resources in the areas of agriculture, oil and gas, among others, to improve the standard of living for the citizens.
The G20 Compact with Africa is a partnership between 20 African countries and Germany following the African Partnership Conference in Berlin. This partnership is an opportunity for African finance ministers to find lasting solutions to challenges faced by private sector businesses. Speaking at the opening of the first meeting in Accra, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia called on participants to use the opportunity provided to transform the economies.
We need to be ambitious and bold. What we are doing with the Compact with Africa is not something that is being dictated to us. It is something that we want to do, and therefore we have ownership of and should have ownership of. For our government, there is a sense of urgency for economic transformation in order to meet the needs of citizens in a rapidly changing world. Let us use the Compact to harness our transformational opportunities. I understand that our partners at the African Center for Economic Transformation believe that economic transformation is possible in a generation. This is the kind of bold vision we need to drive the Compact with Africa as well. Let us harness our capacity to learn from each other and improve.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is confident about the development of the private sector and his quest to achieve the objectives of the G20 partnership.
So I have this dream. I have this dream of an economic transformation, as the VP said, in this generation. A dream of both economic and political sovereignty and for Africa. A dream in which our value add to our resources really are leveraged to support us. This is an opportunity we must seize. I hope by the end of the day, each one of us can walk away with the following. At least one new insight on how our country can better take advantage of the CWA to help in its economic development. At least one example that we have learned from another country of how we can tackle an implementation challenge that our country is facing under the CWA. A strengthened resolve to work to significantly increase FDI and private infrastructure investment in our country. A clear sense of being a member of a community of practitioners, a club with the confidence that when needed, we could reach out to other members to bounce off ideas on how to tackle a policy or implementation problem we may be facing.
The partnership is to promote private investment in Africa. It aims to develop comprehensive, coordinated, and country-specific investment compacts between individual African countries, international organizations, and other partners.
Now to other business stories. The Energy Commission has launched the automatic timer switch, a device introduced to help deep freezers users manage power and save costs. The Commission says this has become critical due to the increasing rate of power losses recorded across the country. In an interview later after the launch, Executive Secretary of the Energy Commission, Dr. Ofosu Ahenkra, explains some consumers will be saving about 30% of cost on power usage per month.
The timer switches enables the consumer to switch off the appliance at a predetermined time, which is set on the device. And you know that at night, the weather is cool, you really don't need a lot of cooling. if a refrigerator is cool, it's cool. You don't need so much energy. So at that time, you can switch it off and then bring it back on after a period. And within that period, you save a lot of energy. And the most important thing is that you don't lose anything in the refrigerator. Any good refrigerator worth its salt should be able to keep its contents after being out of power for even 12 hours. So if you switch it on for 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, you save the energy for that time and you don't lose anything in your fridge.
Some good news for consumers of electricity. And to other stories, prices of homes are expected to reduce by end of the year following the scrapping of some taxes by government. That's according to the prediction coming from some real estate firms in the country. Government in 2017 abolished the 2017 budget abolished the 5% tax on home purchase, which was introduced in the 2015 budget by the former administration. President of Indigo Homes, Anthony Ochery, also adds that the move by government is already yielding some positive impact on the industry.
Government's quest to reduce the housing deficit through the introduction of favorable policies is said to be commendable and believed to be yielding results. Government in the 2017 budget abolished the VAT on mortgage, which was introduced in 2015 budget by the erstwhile administration. President of Indigo Homes, Anthony Ochery, in an interview with Joy Business during the launch of his company's newly constructed Ayumensa Park, said the move will improve standards in the industry.
What we're even happy about is that we can provide more value just because of the VAT that was removed from houses. So at the beginning of the budget read, that's greatly helped us, which means that as of now, the things that I couldn't put in my house, all of a sudden I have 5%. The buyer doesn't need to pay that VAT. So, you know, taxes are sometimes good and sometimes too much. I think there's a balance there. That's just what I believe.
So has that really, helped you to?
That has really helped me.
Ghana's housing deficit is currently over 1.7 million, and Anthony Ochery's Indigo Homes is poised to help reduce the deficit through the use of modern technology.
We realize that there's a gap in the market just for quality, moderately priced homes. And our mantra is to work tirelessly to provide that quality at a price that is not, you know, like what is in the center of Accra in terms of the flats or anything, you know, around that area. So what we try and do is collaborate with international companies. We get, for example, wholesale prices with Bosch, and then we invest in good technology. So on our site now, we're using what we call a FOSSA form system. It allows us to build fast. We can get you a home in 4 months. And then what it does, so it reduces the waste, which means that we're able to generate more value for you on a day-to-day basis.
The Ayumensa Park is a carefully crafted gated community with security amenities and convenience of modern living.
And that's all by way of business tonight. Thank you so much for your company, and do join me again same time tomorrow for more interesting developments in the world of business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji Riafi. For more business news, don't hesitate to log on to www.myjoyonline.com/business. Have a good evening.
Welcome back to Joy News Prime. Now, the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools, CHAS, is asking government to put together what they call a free SHS Bible to serve as a guide to senior high schools who will be administering the initiative. President of CHAS, Cecilia Kwachi Kofi, said such a document will help heads of schools to operate within approved guidelines as government implements its flagship policy. She was addressing members of CHAS at the 55th Annual Conference in Ho.
We also do not rule out the possibility of some infractions of the rules by some of our members. Hence, the need for a clear-cut written guidelines to serve as our free SHS Bible so that we do not overstep our bounds.
Well, ahead of the implementation of government's flagship free senior high school initiative, the Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, has been explaining what the policy entails. Now, here at Joy News, fact-checker Raymond Akwa has been finding out whether or not the Deputy Minister's claims are correct.
Let's start with the Deputy Minister's claim on the distribution of textbooks.
Core textbooks are being distributed throughout the country. Never happened before. Free textbooks for the core subject areas are all going.
This is mostly true. It is true that textbooks are currently being distributed across the country, but this is not novel. Indeed, the provision of textbooks has been on for about a decade now. According to the Education Sector Performance Report for the year 2016, the textbook per student ratio for English decreased from 0.56 in 2011 to 0.50 in 2016. That of Maths and Science also declined from 0.58 to 0.50 and 0.48 to 0.44 respectively. He also made claims on the status of PTA dues.
PTAs were collecting what they call development levy. We have teacher motivation.
Is that also captured?
Yes, it's captured.
This is half true. It is true that some of the items previously captioned under the PTA dues section of the approved fees has been absorbed. For example, the house dues and incentives packages have been absorbed, but the dues itself has not been absorbed, as has been indicated on page 28 of the Ministry of Education's document on the free SHS policy, which says, quote, under free SHS, all fees approved by GS for first-year students other than PTA dues will be absorbed by government. Let's now listen to his claim on the percentage of students that fail the exams every year.
70% of students who take the WASSCE fails every year. They don't get A1 to C6. It's a tragedy in this country.
This is misleading. According to the Ministry of Education's analysis of the trend published on August 15, 2016, since the WASSCE started in 2006, the years 2006 and 2007 recorded the worst performance of 12.5% and 10.6% respectively. Since then, there has been some improvement in the trend, with 2012 recording the highest performance of 31.2%. Tracing up the pass rates, 2013 could boast of 19.2%, 2014 had 28.1%, as 2015 and 2016 tallied 20.2 and 24.7 respectively.
So Raymond Akwa there with fact-checking. Now, an upsurge in crime in some suburbs of Kaswa is giving residents their sleepless nights. The death of a 17-year-old boy during a robbery of a mobile money merchant exactly a week ago at Big Man Town is just one of the several incidents plaguing the sprawling city in the central region. Abubakar Abdul Kadiri, whose brother was killed in that incident, was also shot in the arm and leg. The terrified residents of Kaswa Big Man Town, Akwele and its environs are blaming the crimes on foreigners they say have taken up residence in large numbers, and the poor roads they say makes it difficult for the police to effectively patrol. Joy News' Maxwell Agwagwa has more in this report.
Unhappy faces on the compound of Abubakar Abdul Qadir's residence. The mere thought of darkness sends shivers down the members of this household. But Abdul Qadir, the mobile money merchant, in his bandaged gunshot wounds, masters courage to recall the ordeal.
My younger one wakes me up and tells me that some people were barging to the house, so I should come and see. So when I went from the gate, so when I got to my porch, then I was hearing the other guy, because they were in already. So the other guy was like, give me the gun, telling my younger ones that they should come, let's push the door, because there is a thief, because they are holding gun. I was trying to push the door, like they're trying to break the door, when they started shooting. So the first shoot was from the window, and my brother was there. He's from inside coming. It was standing because he's the one holding my phones.
Okay.
Actually, that was when they shoot him. Like first, we were protecting the door. Even my leg, when they shot my leg, I didn't even know whether I was shot.
The other members of the household were not spared, with the robbers making away with their possessions and cash. Kadri shares fond memories of his 17-year-old brother who was killed by the robbers.
Actually, my brother, I don't know what to say about him because it's a lot more about me because he even painted my room for me recently. That was last 2 weeks. Yeah, it's... I don't even know. I don't know what to say about him because it's a lot much more.
We've now left Kasoa Bigman Town and now we are here at Aquile. Well, we heard that mobile money operators and some shop owners here are not spared in all of these attacks. Well, we're here to meet Florence. Florence operates a mobile money business some few meters away from this place, and the robbers stormed her shop, stole talk time worth 25,000 Ghana cedis, and also stole from her some properties belonging to her from this mobile money shop.
We came here on Sunday to work. That was around 8 to 9. We were about to close, and one of our madam's daughter went out. So he went to see a friend and told her that, like, we are closing. Not knowing that the people around were just watching us, monitoring us to see what is going to happen over here. So all of a sudden, like, she was about to enter the room. The people came, followed her and entered, told us to lie down. So what of a sudden, what we saw was like they were inside. 2 people entered with guns and they asked us to lie down. So we also lied down, as what they said, and they took whatever they wanted to take. They took the credit that we were selling, the money, phones, personal phones and other things, laptop, a lot. Even remote, they even took a remote. They even took Bola that we've even packed away.
President of the Association of Concerned Residents of Kasoa, Amadou Tuareg, says the residents are convinced some of the aliens who have settled in the communities are those behind the robberies.
When you look at the situation too, we have a lot of foreigners in here. That is when I talk of foreigners, the Nigerians, young boys, you don't know what they do. Nobody knows what, but you go to the big estates, houses around, and there are those occupying those buildings. So please, we call on the city authorities and call on our big men at the top there, that is the police hierarchy. To most of them, we know some of them live here. They should at least come to the aid of the good people of Kasoa because the security situation in Kasoa is unbearable.
The residents of Aquile and Bigman Town say they have lost count of the number of attacks they have suffered in the last 2 weeks, with homes, mobile money merchants and shops being the main targets. Reporting for Joy News, Maxwell Agbagba.
Elsewhere, residents of Wawase, a mining town in the Ashanti region, have more than one reason to be thrilled about the presence of the Anti-Galamsey Task Force in their community. Apart from arresting the activities of illegal miners who used to operate with impunity, much to their relief, crime is said to have abated significantly. Latif Idris reports the residents of Wawase, unlike other communities where the Operation Vanguard Task Force has clashed with the people, are happy to have the troops in town.
We just got off MI-171SH, that was the aircraft. It just took us 30 minutes to move from the western region town of Takwa to the Ashanti region town of Obuasi. The minister's aircraft will just touch down here on the field, and yet again the mission is to look at the operations of Operation Vanguard, which has been on the ground for a little over a month now, and already they've recorded some successes. And the minister's visit is to assess their operations and also serve as a morale booster to help the Operation Vanguard team to continue forge ahead to end illegal mining, particularly in the three regions. We are talking about the Western region, the Eastern region, and the Ashanti region.
I like the Operation Vanguard because the Galamsey, it is stopping. It is not going to happen again because my nephew and my brothers are dying on the Galamsey side. So I, for instance, I don't want the Galamsey to come out. I want the Galamsey to die down so that Obuasi will have our peace.
What else do you expect the Vanguard team to do apart from what they've done so far?
Oh, I want them to be quiet. I want them to be calm. I don't want them to bully anybody.
Have they been bullying people?
No, not yet, but I've been hearing news all around.
It's been good so far. Like when they were not here, things were very bad, I would say. But ever since they came, things have been very peaceful. Like all those guys who were, were kind of wants to go to people's houses to steal and all that, I think it has reduced, and it's been good. We've been enjoying their company.
That's all we do. That's the military style. Yeah, police from the division. So they can do something about it.
Because of the massive support we got from the local population, believe me, the wave of information was overwhelming. And we were able to process that into intelligence, and that is what led to our initial successes. In fact, if you go to many of the police stations, they are overwhelmed. The numbers they have in their cells, the equipment they have to keep, it's unbelievable. It's gone very well. And I ascribe it to the cooperation between the police and the military.
Member of Parliament for the constituencies here, and what would be your own assessment of Operation Vanguard so far? Specific talk about the Ashanti region.
I must say we are privileged to have them around, and for me as the MP for Obuasi East, I must say I'm particularly interested in their presence in my constituency because not only are they helping in curbing the Galamsey menace, but they are also helping ensuring security as a whole in Obuasi. And with respect to the fight against the Galamsey, I'm sure, and with my own assessment, we are on course.
There have been concerns. The enthusiasm of the Operation Vanguard team will wane with time and give way for the illegal miners to resurface. But the defense minister says that is unlikely.
To retrieve the equipment and then how they stop this one rather than the opposite where they would assist the criminals. They don't get anything.
Those chants there by the military, the soldiers and the police makes me miss my encounter at the Chance Jungle Warfare Training School. President Akufo-Addo has reiterated his call on the Zambian government to pay outstanding pension and end-of-service benefits due a group of retired Ghanaian teachers who have contributed to the education of many people in Zambia. The issue was first brought to the attention of the Zambian president when President Akufo-Addo paid a state visit to that country in June. Joy News is learning not much progress has been made since the issue was discussed by the two leaders. President Akufo-Addo on Wednesday asked the new Zambian High Commissioner to Ghana to facilitate the process to resolve the issue. Wilford Mbulu was at the Flagstaff House to present his letter of credentials.
What both of us are required to do is to make sure that the Ghana-Zambian relationship is strengthened during the period in office. There were one or two matters of history that I raised with the president when I was there. You know about this lingering issue about our teachers who have been there. When I got there, he had made efforts to try and see about resolving their problem. And I think some initial payments have in fact been made in settlement of their entitlements. But it's a matter which I'll be grateful if you could also, from your end, add your voice so that a resolution can be expedited.
The Zambian High Commissioner says his country was looking forward to learning best practices from Ghana regarding management of the mining, agriculture and tourism sectors.
In agriculture, Your Excellency, we are equally aware that Ghana has done very well, especially in the field of research, field of value addition, the value chain in terms of cassava. Cassava is produced in my country. So I want to draw as many lessons as we can practically do from this great republic. Equally, Your Excellency, tourism here has got great potential. You have done so well as Ghana. And while I'm here serving as High Commissioner, it will be my very special obligation to ensure that I provide a bridge in between this great nation and our country back home.
Also at the Flagstaff House to present his letters of credence was the Norwegian ambassador to Ghana, Gunnar Andreas Holm. Now, the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly has intensified its efforts towards giving the Kwesimintim Apremdo market a facelift by constructing additional sheds, places of convenience, security posts, and other facilities which hitherto were the main concerns of traders who have abandoned the facility since 2006. Meanwhile, the Assembly has commissioned a transport terminal at the market to boost access to transportation while clamping down on some drivers who have converted unapproved loading joints into bus stops.
The Apremdo Transport Terminal, which was constructed more than 10 years ago, has experienced poor patronage of transport services by commuters who shuttle from the Apremdo market to their various destinations. The result was a sharp decline in the patronage of the market as some traders abandoned their sheds and stores with a view of relocating to potentially brisk trading centers. As part of efforts towards reviving trading activities at the market, the Sekondi Takoradi Metro Assembly has reconstructed the market transport terminal at a cost of 1,321,680 Ghana cedis, as well as the construction of additional facilities such as offices, sheds, washrooms, among others. Member of Parliament for Kwesimintim, Joe Mensah, pledged future expansion of the facility as well as the construction of link roads leading to the market. He further encouraged the Assembly to ensure traders at unapproved markets are relocated to the Apremdo market. Mayor of the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly, Anthony Keke Sam, said drivers who operate at unapproved points will be relocated to the new terminal. For Joy News, in Natalia Kwansen's report from Takoradi.
Right, now how sure can you be of the eye color of someone you just met? It sounds awkward to ask such a question of someone you just met, but I have a reason for this. Can you tell if someone's real eye color is brown, gray, blue, or even green? Don't be quick to answer because they might be wearing contact lenses. The growing popularity of contact lenses may be the beginning of a new fashion statement, but do they have any side effects? Joy News' Jackie Nate has more in this report.
Have you wondered whether the gentleman or lady who passed by you is really having brown, blue, or even gray eyes? Well, that is how convenient it has become for some Ghanaians to choose their eye color to communicate their confidence. Want to know more? Join me as we find out about this whole new fashion craze, contact.
Johnson is a model and has been wearing cosmetic contacts for 3 years now. Introduced to the trend by his friends, he says he finds them attractive and feels confident wearing them. He demonstrates the process of wearing it.
it needs to be clean. So I mostly put it on after I've taken my bath, so that at least I would get off the germs and all that from it. So after I've taken my bath, I stand in front of the mirror. Then I can see myself so that I can get close contact with my pupil. So this is how I do it. Some model friend of mine, because anytime I see him, he's looking different. There's something about his eyes. So he told me, oh, he often puts on contact lens. That's why I see him to be different in the face. When you see me from afar, you see me differently on the face. Yes, so it complements my look and it adds up to my confidence, if I may say. I put them on mostly if I have photo shoots, because probably I would want to achieve some kind of particular look. So when I put this on, it helps me get that thin but sexy kind of look.
Sebastian Ainin suffers from short-sightedness. Unlike Johnson, he wears the contact for medical reasons.
I have a problem with my eyes, and I went to the hospital and the doctor was like, I should wear glasses. And I told him I don't want to wear glasses because it makes my eyes, it makes me look like a nerd and all that. So I don't want to wear the glasses. And he went then to explain it to me that we have this contact lens that you put it on. It's medicated. It's just like the eyeglasses, but this, it's fashionable and it's easy and it's easygoing and people don't mostly see it. So when he said it, I was like, well, let me try it. So he showed me the process, washing my hands with soap, putting them on for 8 hours or more, but I can't sleep with it, telling me the side effects and everything. Then I decided to go for it than the spectacles.
Does these aesthetics pose any danger to the human eye? Mahmoud Khalid is an ophthalmic optician and a fellow of the British Dispensing Opticians. He educates me on who can put on contact lenses.
Some people can wear contact lenses for 12 hours. Some people, they can wear them for 8 hours or 4 hours. Actually, it depends on the amount of tears you have in your eyes, because most of the contact lenses we're talking about, almost 49% of the lenses is made of water. So the lens will take that water from your eye. So if you don't have enough tears, you will end up having dry eyes.
There are users who wear the contacts overnight. Mr. Khalid addresses that issue.
Next day you wake up with the red eyes. It will be very difficult to remove the lens because it will be stuck on your cornea. So you might need some special eye drops to remove that lens. And actually, it depends on the amount of tears you have in your eyes. Some people might get away with it. Some people will have severe problems with sleeping with the contact lenses in general. And I'm talking about cosmetic contact lenses because some people, they take it for granted, you know. They go out at night, they wear them, they come back, they're lazy to take them out. So cosmetic contact lenses is good if you know how to use contact lenses.
For all potential and prospective wearers of contact lens, here's some free advice.
First of all, you're not supposed to sleep with them. You're not supposed to wear them more than, it depends on your eyes. Let's say maximum 12 hours a day. Okay, you know how to store them as well. The case you use for the lens, you have to change it every time you buy your lenses. If you keep on using the same container, the case to keep the lens safe, that will attract bacteria. That will damage the lens. That will damage your eye. So if you don't wash your hands before inserting the lenses or removing the lenses, if you don't know how to put in the lenses or take them out, if you have long nails, okay, and you're trying to remove the lens, okay, and you scratch your cornea, you don't go blind, but you get injured.
To have first-hand experience, I opted to have contact lenses fixed, and here is what I went through.
this is my new look after trying the green cosmetic contacts. You can do so. You can change your eye colors from blue to green to pink or even brown. The choice is yours, but make sure in the process you don't ruin your eyes. For Joy News, Jacqueline Nati.
Right, so there you have it. Thanks to cosmetic contact lenses, you can change your eye color at will, and it costs you less than 100 cedis. In some cases, you can actually get one for 40 cedis. So if you wish, you may want to go for it.